Legacy HasLab Victory Saber in over 60 seconds, let's go. So yes, Victory Saber from Transformers Victory, a show that aired in the late 80s somewhere in Japan, and apparently Hasbro wants to acknowledge Japan right now for whatever reason. I'm not really sure if something's going on. As you can see, Victory Saber is a big thing. Most predominantly, he comes with a flying stand to make him look like he's flying, but that's not all. Of course, with this being a HasLab release, a big emphasis is put on premiums and paint, and the paint applications in this combine mode are nice. The accessories in the loadout is okay, the paint applications are okay, the stickers that you can attach that I forgot about and didn't bother, fuck it. Yeah, this is just a big combined thing of Star Saber and Victory Leo. I think the more appropriate way to kind of talk about these is to take them apart altogether. So if you'll please bear with me. We've now got an alt mode that exists out of necessity. Victory Leo in this mode is essentially a flying brick with some wings. He doesn't look all that good. The detail is not all that great. It's a black and yellow thing. He's got wings with stickers that I didn't bother attaching. He's got a lion head at the back because this isn't a particularly compelling or convincing transformation. Sue me, I didn't make the fucking thing. And of course he comes with the Victory cannon, the Leo cannon, I don't know. I'm just here to talk about them as the product in front of me. I guess we might as well run through with it like this as we are. So transforming Victory Leo into his lion mode is fairly straightforward, all things considered, and by all things considered I mean nothing considered, because you don't need to consider anything. I don't know if this is part of the official transformation, but you can also turn these tabs for the combined mode out to make something that resembles a tail. I don't know. I do it out of preference. I don't know if you're supposed to do it. There may or may not be a couple of things forgotten about in this lion mode, as I've transformed it as you see in front of you, but this is Victory Leo's lion mode, and my issue isn't that Victory Leo just looks like an accessory. My issue is the fact that this is the second major piece of a HasLab set that cost nearly Titan price. You can see where I'm coming from when I raise that as my complaint, surely. I don't know. He looks fine until you actually stop and look at him, and then you realise he doesn't look fine at all. I don't know. Like I said, I don't design the fucking thing. Alright, and here we have Victory Leo in his robot mode, or as I like to call it, the crowning achievement of fuck. This is probably the worst thing to come out of HasLab on any respectable level. Like, I'm not going to say this as harshly about the Micromasters, which we'll get to in just a moment, Deathsaurus' packing accessories, or even fucking Blue Bolts, purely on a speculative base. Yes, they've all had problems, but this is just the weakest. His robot mode's the best mode, and it's still not all that great. The ankles don't really have a tilt other than a toe tilt, which it works for certain poses, but it doesn't work as a broad stroke thing. No waist, which you can't avoid. The head's just on a swivel. He's got outward hip motion that doesn't work because as soon as you try and do it, it's just going to take the transformation joint. It's just very... This feels like Combiner Wars level engineering. This feels like the bare minimum, and I know people are going to say, oh, but he's just the add-on. Too fucking bad. He's advertised as one half of the set, so I'm going to talk about him as one half of the set. He's Penn and Teller. He's one half of Penn and Teller, and so far he's the disappointing half. I don't know which one that is. I just know they're magicians that made a game about driving a bus. He looks nice. Don't get me wrong on this one. I think he looks very nice. Some good paint applications, some good detailing, some good accessories. He looks really nice. I know a lot of people had issues with the foil and the paint. I've not had any issues on mine. I got really lucky. But engineering-wise, design-wise, he's very flaccid. He's very underwhelming. And I think it's important that I can admit that. He's definitely one of the worst things to come out of HasLab, and that's taken into account all the problems that the three who have been released so far have had. But I tell you what's not disappointing. A word from our sponsor. One day you bunch of shaggers are going to fall for that. This isn't a fucking promo spot. This is a brief talk about the Micromasters, because as a HasLab, one of the tiers was, oh, if this gets so many tiers, we'll include Micromasters. The names of these Micromasters are Holi and Fire, and they were released in the mainline as Stakeout and Red Heat. Yeah, cool. Some primo painted Micromasters. I didn't have money on that when I pre-ordered the HasLab, so it's nice to get a little bit extra, but it's just a strange choice. This discussion about the Micromasters is going to be intensely brief, because there isn't really much to say about them. My Fire has some really shit QC, so he just doesn't hold together in the slightest, and I'm just waiting for bits to pop off him. But the other one holds together all right. Paint applications are nice on the two. I can't take that away from them. Transformations, if you've transformed any of these Micromasters, okay, I tried to transform Holi, and all the legs just came right the fuck off. That's fun. Both of them just popped off right at the hips. Good shit. That's what I like to see. Nice to know my money went somewhere good. Outside of that, a little fucking discrepancy. A little cunt. Paint apps are nice. Quality's really fucking shit. Oh my god. This is is bad. This is really bad. Holy fuck, 3 out of 4 legs in transformation. Yeah, if you've transformed any of these Micromasters, you've transformed 99% of them. You know exactly what you're getting into. They're a cool little accessory. I really hope no one was actually having any genuine hopes pinned on them beyond looking at them as a neat little accessory that you didn't need to get. Why does it matter? Because now we're on to the main lad himself. Full disclosure, I will not be talking about the base mode. His spaceship mode is pretty base. Do you see what I did there? I know I hate myself every day as well. Pretty solid for what he is, which is just a big space boy. This is just a deep space shuttle interceptor Japanese anime manga thing. None of those words were actually useful descriptors, and I don't care. I know that originally it looked like there was just a gigantic gaping hole at the back, but you know, then they actually managed to pass tier 3 or whatever it was, and they gave him a shield, so now it looks like there's a giant gaping hole at the back with a shield covering it. That's pretty swell, isn't it? On top, you've got his head that's totally not a head, it's instead a radar ting that doesn't do anything. I think it's maybe some sort of gun. I don't really care. I don't like it. It sticks up too much and it looks funky, so that can go. You've got the guns at rest. Unfortunately, there's no real symmetrical way to make them look, but the actual ship itself, I like it for what it is. Now, the thing about Star Saber as a figure is that he's like one of those Russian nesting dolls where he's just stuff on top of things, and if you don't believe me, meet Saber. Saber is a tiny robot jet at the heart of Star Saber, who's at the heart of Victory Saber, who's at the heart of Japanese Transformers, who's at the heart of the Kiss Players community. And you see, it's all Kiss Players, always has been. I don't know if I'll get away with leaving that in the video, so if only the patrons get to hear that, hello, thank you. Yeah, Saber is some degree of jet. Red, white, some blue, especially on the underside. But once you get past the ball jointed shoulders that just pop off because fuck me, I guess, and you take away the nose cone that's not totally going to be an accessory in the future, you get... He's the brain of courage, the brain master of courage, which if you don't know what these are, they're basically like headmasters, but instead of being the full head, they're the face. I know, I can't believe the fucking audacity of them either, but this is one of the smallest items to come with a Transformer that I can think of that it has any sort of transformation ability. Granted, yeah, like I said, there's not really much to it. It's a tiny painted version of Star Saber's face, which is always fun, of course. This is where, talking about Saber, is where it gets a bit more interesting, because this guy's engineering also feels like Combiner Wars, but it feels like it takes the cues from Combiner Wars and uses them to build something better. You know, like what a good design usually does, it builds on the lessons of the past. And this one's definitely a big example of that, you know, like there's a lot right with this. What do I not like about Saber so far? Well, I don't like the ball joints. The joints feel really loose, but I do like the paint applications. And like I say, it's part of this whole Russian nesting doll thing. His articulation's pretty good, apart from the waist, and the head is limited to a swivel that has a limit in and of itself, purely due to the Brain Master. But you get what you pay for, I guess, and what you pay for is the Brain Master. But this is not where our journey ends. Oh no, this journey's got a little bit more to it. I was wondering to myself, why am I doing this after I do the Titan class figure? You know, surely the Titan class figure is going to have the most going on. It's the biggest, it's the most expensive. Nah, I'm glad I didn't just wait. Main attraction without jumping straight to Victory Saber himself is Star Saber. This is the one most people probably remember. This is the one that actually got a masterpiece toy. This is the one that basically just got all sorts of shit. Anyway, yeah. Yes. Things I don't like about Star Saber in his robot mode. One of the antennas has got a bit too much looseness going on, so I can't pose it how most people would, but it's fine. I found a sweet spot, just angled slightly forward, and I think it works as a bit of an improvement. He's got clown feet, so they can be a little bit distracting. As I tried to even them out, I just nearly launched them off my desk. Let's talk about things I do like. Incredibly articulated, especially given he's just a guy inside another guy who's inside another guy. Sounds like your dad at the weekends, no disrespect. He's got that thing where Siege Jetfire does, where he's got the retracting hand gimmick. He's the only other figure, apart from Siege Jetfire, who I know of, who has this gimmick. Accessories in this mode include his Victory Saber. That wasn't funny, and I don't give a fuck. It's basically just this sword made out of his cockpit and a blade. I will say I broke the blade within like a couple of days of getting him, and I just never got around to replacing it. It holds together well enough. That'll do the job for me. As well as this, he's got the shield. The shield holds together okay, but the shield also comes with the additional option of you can plug it in to the arm directly, so he doesn't have to hold it in his hand. So that's pretty neat. I think the best sort of loadout for him is something like this. Sword in one hand, big ass fucking cannon in the other, shield mounted on the arm, and this other fucking gun, I don't know, it can It can catch flies with its mouth hanging open on his back. Just make him a big f**k-off bad bastard who's not taking any excuses. And I wish that I could say this is where the set ends and I really fucking like it. Victory Leo is wank, but you know, Star Saber on his own is really cool. But unfortunately, there is one part that I can't ignore. I'm not saying this like it necessarily detracts from the figure. It's just the reason why Victory Leo is as underwhelming as he is. And I kind of can't ignore it for the purposes of reviewing, because what would that make me? Now, in his combined form, we have Victory Saber. Completed and together. And what can I say about him in the end? Less is more. As I transform him, I kind of just get the impression of what is the point of Victory Leo here. I know it's the heritage and the lore, and Japanese Transformers is all about dumb combinations like this and big powered and fucking the train one, what's his name? But I think Victory Saber is just a bit too much of a stretch for me individually. I like Star Saber a lot on his own. I find Victory Leo really underwhelming because they've had to basically... He gets ripped apart. He gets ripped into 3 different pieces to be turned into a set of boots and a jetpack. And I just think it feels like not enough. The attachment all works out well. Everything is secure. Everything is tight. Everything holds together well. The combined form, the color applications across the whole figure are nice. I've sung my praises about Star Saber. I've sung my complaints about Victory Leo, and the combined mode is just a Star Saber with a pair of high tops and a jetpack. What do you want me to really say? He's okay. I think if you ever had the possibility and you weren't that bothered about being completionist, if you had the possibility to get Star Saber on his own with all the accessories, I would do that. Off topic, he comes with some blast effects. But yes, I think that about sums up my feelings on HasLab Victory Saber. Was he worth the 180? He's probably worth the 180 more than the 300 plus he definitely goes for now. Do I think he's the best one they've come out with to date? No. The Star Saber base robot is really fucking nice with some excellent articulation and detailing and accessories. All the rest of it's a neat little extra and it all amounts to, probably not worth Titan price. And I think that's about it for this video. And after this, there's only one more video left in the Legacy series, so if you don't mind me, I'm gonna go finish that off and have a cry. Thank you very much for watching, take care, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.